All right, so today we're going to be going over Coreblades for combat athletes. Featured in this amazing video is one of my favorite fighters to work with, Chaz. We've trained together for grappling tournaments, professional boxing match, and MMA fights, and also keeping up his strength and conditioning in between competitions and fight. So whether for a dynamic warm-up or range of motion training or recovery from shoulder injuries, because most of these athletes do have some sort of shoulder complications, the Coreblades play a valuable role. So this figure 8 movement is a great example how we accomplish all of the above. So teaching the body to create force from the ground up and letting that shoulder, the targeted area, come last in an elastic manner creates some safe and durable range of motion in the shoulder girdle. So with that weighted handle, and that guy is about 3 pounds, and the attached ribbons / blades, we have a visual cue of flow. So if those ribbons are flowing in a continuous manner, I know we have smooth acceleration. When I have smooth acceleration, that means muscles, tendons, and fascia are working together in an elastic manner. This does very well for increasing range of motion and also teaching the tissues to absorb force and those oblique and far-reaching ranges that you'll often see in fighting and in sport. So whether we're using this for a dynamic warm-up or injury recovery, we have an entire program and series of movements targeting specific ranges and specific complications in the shoulder. So one of my favorite uses of the Coreblades is training rotational movement. So as you can see here, Chaz is throwing those Coreblades side to side, reaching all the way across his body and behind him. So this is similar mechanics to that you would use on a medicine ball throw, but the difference is at the end here, we're not letting go of the object. You're holding on, so you're extending your range and teaching the entire body, especially the core and shoulder girdle, to put on the brakes in an elastic manner. This is amazing for not only power generation, but also teaching deceleration at higher levels of force and bigger ranges of motion. So in this video here, we're going about mid-range power with Chaz. We're focusing on sequencing and range of motion. So the added benefit of those ribbons is the audible feedback. So here about mid-power, we're going to hear that nice low thundering. If we went high speed, high tempo, you're going to hear more of a snap. So these last shots here in slow motion can really show you what kind of range he's hitting. So at the very end here, I mean, we're hitting the entire core as he's putting on the brakes here. So that's, beyond his hips, we're looking at lower abs, obliques, and low back all working in unison to absorb that force and redirect it in a safe and efficient manner. So one of the last ways we use the Coreblades for combat athletes is conditioning. So this movement here, the Coreblade throwdown, is a great example of how we do that. So similar to a med ball slam or a kettlebell swing, but we have a little more range of motion, so we're getting more into elasticity. So with more elasticity and fluid movement, we're gonna have far less breakdown and soreness in between workouts. So this makes it great in between your heavy lifting sessions or if you're peaking your athlete close to competition time. Another great movement we use for conditioning are the Coreblade runners. So with that anti-rotation in the core and those big elastic movements in the chest, shoulders, and upper back, we're getting a lot of muscle going at once. So we can easily hit any heart rate we need to, all the way up to the high 80s and 90 percentile. But at the same time, we're keeping his body fresh and elastic, especially the legs. So this is great if you have an athlete who has injured lower body or sore lower body and we still want to get our conditioning in. So those are just 3 major ways that we use the Coreblades to help our athletes: injury recovery, range of motion, rotational power, and full body conditioning. Right now in the Coreblade library, we have over 100 movements, and with new coaches and new clients and new athletes, that library and program library continues to grow. So I hope that helped. Hit me up if you have any questions. I would love to hear from you.